Good morning, everyone. In today's talk, we'll be looking at cocoa butter. Cocoa butter. Um, from the word cocoa butter, so it is clear to us that it is obtained from cocoa. We in West African part of Africa, we are blessed with cocoa. We have cocoa trees, and from cocoa tree you have cocoa pod. From cocoa pod you get your cocoa beans. From there you get your nibs. After undergoing some processes, you get your cocoa liquor, and from your cocoa liquor, by the time you go through hydraulic press, so you have your cocoa butter, whether alkalized cocoa liquor or not alkalized. From there you get your cocoa butter. As I've said, uh, the countries in West Africa, we are the one that are the largest producer of cocoa in the world. Nigeria is the third largest producer of cocoa today. In the 60s, during the time of Obafemi Awolowo late, Nigeria used to be the largest producer of cocoa in the world. From cocoa, you can get your cocoa butter. Why do we call it cocoa butter? It's very clear to everyone when we talk of butter. We know butter is not in liquid phase or liquid form, so it is in a solid form. Yeah, the fact that it is in a solid form, we call it cocoa butter, not cocoa oil. We are looking at 10 reasons why people don't eat or consume cocoa butter. Despite the availability in western parts of Africa, the likes of Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria, and Cameroon, we have abundance of cocoa, and yet we don't consume cocoa butter. So we are looking at 10 reasons why people don't consume cocoa butter. One, it has extremely high calorie density. Yes, extremely high calorie density. Looking at cocoa butter, it has no fiber, it has no carbohydrate, no protein, no water. So it is 99 to 100% made up of lipid. Yes, because it has extremely high caloric content. That is the first reason why people don't consume or eat cocoa butter. Two, the second point this time around it has high saturated fat. Yes, high in saturated fat. We have established it when we look at fat and oil. When do we say oil or fat is saturated? Oil or fat is saturated when at room temperature. When we say room temperature, we are talking about temperature at around 22 to 27 degrees Celsius. That is the room temperature. If an oil or a fat gets solidified at room temperature, at temperature between 22 to 27 degrees Celsius, if it gets solidified, such oil, we call it saturated fat. Saturated fat is not good for consumption as food because they tend to raise LDL cholesterol, that is bad cholesterol. They tend to raise LDL cholesterol. And then again, food that are high in saturated fats tend to block the walls of the arteries. Yeah, it tend to block the walls of the arteries, thereby causing some blockage in the arteries. For this reason, people don't tend to consume cocoa butter. The third point is that it has limited nutritional density. Yes, eating cocoa butter doesn't really have special nutrients that we have in some other vegetable oils, the likes of soya oil, palm oil, um, groundnut oil, and the rest. The fourth reason why people don't consume or eat cocoa butter is that it has neutral or limited health benefits. Yes, when you eat it alone, it has neutral or limited health benefits when you eat it alone. For this reason, people don't tend to eat or consume cocoa butter. The fifth reason it has a potential digestive issues if you consume it at high dosage. Yes, if you consume so much of cocoa butter, there is a possibility of digestive issues if you consume it at a high rate. The sixth reason is that it has unpleasant sensory experience for many people. Yes, unpleasant, not so suitable. Unpleasant sensory experience, since you have to put it in your mouth and it doesn't met at a room temperature. It met at temperature around 33 to 37 degrees Celsius. So this experience doesn't make many people to go or eat uh, cocoa butter. We look at the seven reasons why people don't eat or consume cocoa butter. The seven reason is cost and supply constraints. Yes, the cost and supply constraints. This year make exactly 20 years that I had experience, industrial experience in a cocoa processing plant. Then it was called Stammer Cocoa Processing Plant, but now it's being owned by Cadbury. So today is a Cadbury processing plant. So I had experience. I did my industrial training with the company. So there is issue with cost. It's very expensive. About 1 kg of cocoa butter, if we convert that to a liter, that will be about 1.2 liter. Don't forget there is possibility of air gaps. So it's about 1.2 liter. About 1 kg, as at yesterday when I checked on Gigi, is about 50,000 naira. So the cost is high. Then supply constraint, most of times, complaints, they are the one that do buy the cocoa butter. I remember then when I was doing my IT, we were told that they normally export it to Liverpool in UK. So there are complaints in overseas. So most time it's being exported to overseas countries. And most times, since complaints are the one that buy this cocoa, they buy the cocoa they buy the cocoa powder and they sell it to the like of the Cadbury, Nestle, and other company who are into making of chocolate, Bonfita, and some cocoa beverages. So there is a constraint. So most of the time, the companies are the one that buy the produce or products from cocoa. And we will look at the 8 reasons why people don't consume cocoa butter. That is not designed for cooking at high temperature. We look at the smoke point. The smoke point for cocoa butter is about or there around 200 degrees Celsius. Whereas for the normal cooking oil, the likes of palm oil, um, the peanut oil, that's groundnut oil, soya bean oil. This one has smoke point that is about 230 degrees Celsius, whereas for cocoa butter is about 200. So it's not suitable for cooking at high temperature. Then we look at the 9 reason The ninth reason this time around is there's health warnings. Yes, health warning. There's primary study has shown that it can cause hormonal effect and acne flares. Yes, it can cause hormonal effect and acne flares. Yes, that is what preliminary studies has shown by research that has been conducted so far. Then lastly, we look at the 10 reasons why people don't consume or eat cocoa butter. That is a topic production conversion in lotions and cream. Many a times you see cocoa butter cream, and lotions. So many a times when they see this, they thought uh, maybe it's merely meant for making lotions and creams. So there is a conviction whether it's a refined one or not. So far, these are the 10 reasons why people don't eat or consume cocoa butter, despite we have it in abundance in West Africa.